how do we get a tent on the boat? Let's talk about that. Up next, down the river. At some point during the trip, I want to have to take a nap. One of the purposes of the top deck is, of course, a mobile campsite. On the top deck, we have 3 poles. Each one of the poles has a purpose. We have a forward tent pole, a rear tent pole, and a third tent pole. This one comes right off the bow like that. These, along with some strategically placed screws, there's one under here, one on that corner, and then halfway up the deck there's another one on here, on that side, and on the very forward part there's 2 right here. The corners of the tents, that'll be the tent pegs. The screws are the tent pegs or the tent stakes. The tent's kept under in the dry spot, so let's see how fast we can get the tent out. Alright, so it's time to make camp. So let's make camp. Retrieve the tent from the boat. On the tent, the guidelines are already placed. So that right there tells you which way's forward, which way's to the rear. Sit like that. Start with the corners. Come up to my halfway point. Done. We get this pole, hook it in right there, stand her up, tie her off. On the forward part, we'll be taking this long pole, just like that, we're done. Yeah, that was the quickest tent setup I think I've ever done. Let's take a look around. One of the hardest components of setting this tent up earlier was trying to figure the front out. So I wanted to be able to set it up completely on the boat and not have to rely on anything on the shore. So let's say I camp out on the island, high tide comes in, the boat starts floating. I don't want this attached to anything. So we talked about that reese receiver on the second deck video right here. It fits that 2x2 pole. Attached to the 2x2, we have a string that comes up to the front tent pole. Pull that tent pole forward, tightens out the ridge. Down here, we just fold the corners around, pin them to the deck. Pinning the tent to the deck here was really easy. That's all we done. So basically set up the full tent, bring one corner over till it's nice and tight, put a screw there so I can clip it right on. Do the same with the other side, bring it around, clip it right into place. That's simple. Front of the tent is secure. At the back of the tent, we have a couple screws underneath the deck here. So it comes around the deck, wrap around, clip into that screw, holds it in place. Then we have the back tent pole. And that tent pole goes up to the top line. The top line comes down and is secured to one of the T-bolts on the motor, just like the cleat. Pull it nice and tight, tie it off. And that's it. All done. Tent set up, ready to sleep in. So how much room is in the tent? Well, we know the deck is 4 foot by 7 foot and the top of the tent is 10 foot. So we got a lot of space in this tent. There's enough to lay out my sleeping pad and sleeping bag. We can do breakfast, lunch, or dinner in there if we need to in inclement weather. Again, we're going to have strategically placed hatches on the top deck to gain access to anything underneath. So, like I said, it'll be coming up on the third deck video. But this is looking great. And I like the way it turned out. Goes up real quick. That was easy. Easy up, easy down. Probably the easiest campsite I've ever seen. Well, she's certainly not a ship of the line, but it turned out great. Quick setup on the tent. We got shelter. I can take a poncho, hang off the back side to help cover that up if it really starts to rain and we need more shelter. But I'm a big fan of Pirates of the Caribbean. And she's not the Black Pearl, but she's got green sails. So I'm about naming the boat the Green Pearl. Well, yes, that's going to be a short video today. Why? Because the tent was that easy to set up. Next time, maybe we'll take it out on the river and spend a night in it. See what it's like sleeping on the water. Well, I'll see you next time down the river.